Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. Also, thanks to those of you tuned in on my other networks. So, as you're coming in, please make sure you subscribe to the channels. If you have not done so already, click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time that the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. Also at divine_goddess_27. On Twitter at dgoddess27. Also on Patreon at QueenAShakur. And on Clubhouse at QueenAShakur. Okay. And keep in mind, my podcast will be up this weekend. I just haven't gotten around to starting it. All right. Hello, Black Unity. Dan Records Black. Davita is Black. Misfits. Hello. Amari, Nikisha, Queen Adia, Sylvia, Silent D, Michelle, Pimp D Jack, Black Unity, Craig Killmonger, Omari Rahim. Okay, Sweet Pete, Lee Harv, Carol, Michael Freeman is Black. Let's get into it, people. Let's talk about the zebra murders, okay? Hey, Queen, we Black again. Love you and appreciate you. Thank you, Kimla, and I love you right Black. So let's talk about these zebra killings. Now, this, as I told you before, is welcome, Black Queen, my beautiful sister. Thank you. Now, with that all being said, this is about some Black people who got sick and tired of the stuff that was going on as it pertains to Black people being, discriminated against and killed and all of those things. So they struck back, got together in a group of them, and I don't know how they came up with all these people to be in unison as to getting together, but they did. And they were convicted, I believe, of killing like 15 people, but some estimate that it was much more, okay? Like 70 or more. The last two surviving zebra killers, and this is a recent article. It came out, it was updated January the 31st of 2020. Last two zebra killers denied parole, tied to massive California spree targeting whites at random. Now, here's what I want to know. They didn't give them parole, and I'm not saying they should have, but I'm just wondering, are they going to give it to that member of the Manson family? Okay, that's what I'm wondering. Because they already said they're not going to try to fight it. Remember, they did say that. So, anyway, let's talk about it. Bulk of the killings, listen to this. A bulk of the killings they did were motivated by Berkeley police shooting. Just saying. We talked about this morning. Some Black people get pushed to the edge. Okay? Like the men I talked about this morning. And that's why I thought it was fitting to do this as a true crime following it. Because this just goes to show how traumatizing these things can be and how they just push some people to the brink of insanity, no less. Now, two Bay Area men sent to prison for their role in the notorious racially motivated killing spree in the 1970s known as the Zebra Murders are running out of final chances for freedom. Jesse Lee Crooks, age 75, agreed this month to postpone a scheduled parole hearing until sometime after his 80th birthday in 2025. His co-defendant, Larry Craig Green, who's now 67, meanwhile, was denied parole this summer and must wait another 5 years before his next shot. Crooks and Green, along with co-defendants Manuel Moore and JCX Simon, were convicted in the 1976 multiple murder, and conspiracy to commit multiple murders, all in connection with the Zebra Murders. Simon died in San Quentin State Prison in 2015 at the age of 69. Moore died in 2017 while incarcerated in the California Healthcare Facility in Stockton at age 75. Now, the Zebra Murders, surprisingly, comprised 15 killings, 13 by firearm and 2 by machete, all said to be motivated by an extremist interpretation of the Nation of Islam teachings that white people are devils and deserving of violence. Let me clear my throat. Now, that's what you're not going to do. You see how they try to put things on Black people? They try to act like when a Black person does something heinous to them, it's other Black people's fault. Now, pay attention. They clearly blamed this on the Nation of Islam. That's full of shites. and they are full of shite. The Nation of Islam didn't make them do this. And let's just say that they did. Well, who in the hell made Christopher Dorner do what he did? Who in the hell made Gavin Long do what he did? Who made Michael Xavier Johnson do what he did? This doesn't have nothing to do with the Nation of Islam. They can preach whatever they want, right? We have Ku Klux Klansmen out here preaching stuff, hate and all kind of stuff. But decent white people don't go out and start killing people, do they? This doesn't have nothing to do with the Nation of Islam, you see. This had everything to do with a racist, wannabe white supremacist run country and system that is oppressive, racially discriminative, and murderous and genocidal to black folks. And quite frankly, they were fed the F up. That's why it happened. Now, don't try to blame this on the Nation of Islam. That's what you're not going to do. But see how devils lie. Pay attention. That's what they do. Let me continue. So they say the zebra murders comprised 15 killings, 13 by firearm, 2 by machetes, all said to be motivated by extremist interpretation of Nation of Islam teachings that white people were devils and deserving of violence. And hold on, let me say something else before I get into this. First of all, did we actually need the Nation of Islam to tell us who the devils are on this planet? Does anybody need anybody to tell you who the devils are on this planet? I think it's safe to say that we can see for ourselves. The people who hate other people just because you're black, the people who kill you, the people who unjustly crucify, persecute you, and throw you in jail with trumped up charges, the people who target you on a daily, the people who deny you regular rights and freedoms that everyone else is privileged to have, the ones who don't want to give you reparations. We don't need the nation to tell us that. We don't need anyone to tell us that because clearly we can see it for ourselves. America has told us everything we need to know about them. Have they not? And then it goes on to say, the randomness of the killings horrified San Francisco residents and inspired copycat crimes, including a 2007 killing by members of 4 Black Muslim bakery who were also behind the murder of Oakland journalist Chauncey Bailey. For every 1 or 2 of these type of crimes that they can pin on black people, I'm sorry, but there's 100 more of them that have done something much worse. Let me continue. Cooks has admitted guilt before parole boards, but Simon and Moore consistently maintained their innocence until their deaths, according to parole hearing transcripts. He said, this is a legal lynching. This is what Simon said to a parole board in 2007, moments before walking out of his own hearing. He said, you're going to lynch me whether I like it or not. You might as well put a rope right around the top of the ceiling. That's going to let me hang. Green has also consistently denied involvement, though he told a parole board in August that he believed at the time white people were devils. I mean, well, what does that prove? Just because he believed white people are devils didn't mean he was going to kill them. Because plenty of black people believe white people are devils. And do we go out and kill them? No, we don't. They kill us. Okay? Please, make it make sense. And that's why we think the racist ones of them are devils. He has since come to the realization that we're all human beings, he said. Yeah, we all are, but unfortunately, those racist Klansmen and Proud Boys and neo-Nazis and skinheads and white nationalists and boogaloo boys and all of them, they don't seem to act like it. Now, do they? So anyway, the murders started on October the 20th of 1973, when a group of men later identified as Cooks, Green, and Harris kidnapped Richard and Quita Haig, a newlywed San Francisco couple, on an evening stroll at Telegraph Hill. Quita was sexually assaulted and hacked to death with a machete, while Richard was clubbed and hacked. Richard miraculously survived the attack. A week later, Cooks was arrested after fatally shooting Francis Rose, age 28, near the University of California Extension on Laguna Street. It would take 6 months for police to link him Takeda Hagues' murder. Though the 1970s was marred by infamous Bay Area crimes, the Zodiac murders, and the assassination of Oakland Schools Superintendent Marcus Foster by the radical Symbionese Liberation Army among them, the zebra murders were particularly terrifying to Bay Area residents. Media reports at the time described businesses shutting down early. Pay attention, people. Do you see what was going on when Black people was out here roaming the streets, terrifying the white folk and killing them? Businesses shut down early. Now do you see why the police are out here all amped up? Just harassing Black folks, killing you for no reason. Busted tail lights, you get pulled over, shot, and dead. This is what happens. This is what happens because, in my opinion, they don't want any more of these type of Negroes ever to get any ideas and walk the streets, you see. That's why they want to feminize Black men. Pay attention. That's why if they even see you on social media talking smack about them and their racism and their wicked, nefarious system of wannabe white supremacy, or training military style using arsenals of weapons like Rakim Balugbala, like he was doing, then they have these bogus charges to come arrest you, come put you in prison. They don't even have charges. They just come lock you up just because they can, because the mayor and they said so, and hold you for 6 months like they did him, and then realize they don't have anything they can frame you for or put anything on you, so then they let you go. Now, they go on to say that media reports at the time described businesses shutting down early, school children calling in sick, and downtown areas being completely empty after dark out of fear over the random murders. You know what's funny about that? Not funny, but what's ironic about that? Can you imagine white folk being scared to go to work and go to school, send their kids to school? Can you imagine, if you will, if you could pause for a moment? Could you imagine white people being so ripped and gripped with fear that they went home early, locked their doors, and didn't even want to go to work and close their business? We need to add these brothers on the hero list. Okay, Ramsey 7, thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution. Peace, love, and blessings to you. But can you imagine that? And the reason I ask is this. You see, the fear that they endured, that's what Black people endured all the time. Our ancestors, during Jim Crow, and even after Jim Crow. That's how Black people had to feel every day, all day, 24/7, 365. That's what Black people have always had to deal with. Remember when the Klan could just go to a Black person's house and snatch you up? You know they can still do it. Only this time, the Klan, they have on police uniforms when they come and snatch you up and lynch you. Breonna Taylor, Botham Jean. Okay? A Tatiana Jefferson. I'm just saying. Same thing going on. Same thing, different day. But at the end of the day, these are the things that Black people always have to deal with and always have had to. Black people wouldn't be able to walk down the street amongst white people without feeling fear of being attacked, killed, or whatever. Having their houses set on fire, bombed, and all those things. So imagine them. I think I'm going to get a tear in my eye that they had to close down their businesses and not send their kids to school, and they had to be so gripped with fear for a few months, while Black people had to endure that for decades. Okay? Centuries. Then San Francisco Mayor Joseph Aliato responded to the fear by introducing a short-lived unconstitutional stop and frisk called Operation Zebra, where police were instructed to stop, listen to this, where police were instructed to stop Black men at random and ask them questions. See, that's what they do when Black people are out here committing crimes like that against them. They stop every Black man they see and ask you 1,000 questions. And if they don't like the way you answer, shot dead on the pavement, no less. You know what I find interesting? The same cops who are doing all of this, I bet they're some of the same fools who let the Zodiac killer, who was killing white people too, by the way, I bet you that's some of the same fools that let the Zodiac killer slip through their fingers. Because remember, the Zodiac killer had just killed 2 people, and he was walking down the street. And who did he walk into? A cop. And what did the cop tell him? He let him go right on his merry little way. Didn't even stop him. Didn't ask for identification. Didn't ask him his name, where he was coming from, where he was going, if he saw anything. Nothing. I think he did ask him if he'd seen anything. Little did he know that was the one who did everything that was to be seen. But they want to stop every black person. And they said right now, unconstitutional stop and frisk. This is what they do, black people. So because a few black people take to the streets and go out and start lynching them, as they've done to us for centuries, they want to blame all black people and stop all black people. Pay attention. And I guarantee you that's the reason. I guarantee you that's one of the main reasons that the Zodiac killer went uncaught. They never caught him. Likely because the police were too busy looking for the black folk who were out here doing all the killing. Little did they know the Zodiac killer would continue to kill for years. And he probably killed more than they did, as far as I'm concerned. You know how serial killers get down. Now, let me continue. So they would stop random black men and question them. And a week into it, a judge ruled that Operation Zebra was illegal. Finally, in early 1974, a man named Anthony Harris came forward to police, implicating Green, Cooks, and Moore and Simon in the shootings and the attacks on Hayes, and the 1973 killing of an unidentified man who he said was hacked to pieces with a machete. They were acting like the mafia with these tactics they were using. That's clearly some mafia-style stuff right there. Now, Harris minimized his own involvement, claiming to be a witness but never a participant. Harris cooperated for reward money and disappeared after testifying at trial. Now, how did they even know he was telling the truth? I always think that's sketchy when somebody tells something and then, you know, they have information, which to me means they could be the killer. I mean, just think about it. Couldn't they be the killer? And then they take the reward money and skip town, leaving somebody else holding the bag. So at the time of the arrest, Aliado claimed the perpetrators were part of an extremist sect called the Death Angels that was responsible for dozens of murders across California. Now, on January the 25th of 1974, a group of black men were driving a van selling fish door to door as part of a Nation of Islam sanctioned business. When they were pulled over by the Berkeley police, they objected to being stopped, leading to a physical altercation. During the fight, one of the fish salesmen, Larry 3X Crosby, disarmed one of the police officers and pistol whipped him with his own gun. Did y'all hear that? Let me read that again. It said they pulled him over and the men objected to being stopped. Like, why are you stopping us? We didn't do anything wrong. And the objection led to a physical altercation. During the fight, one of the fish salesmen named Larry 3X Crosby disarmed one of the officers and pistol whipped him with his own gun. Crosby then dropped the gun and took off running, at which point one of the officers shot him in the back, paralyzing him for life, according to the media reports at the time. Now, Crosby, who has since changed his name, shared images of the shooting on his YouTube page. Oh, he has a YouTube page? Hold on, I'm going to show you all this video. They say fury ensued after that. The next day, a huge protest was held at Mosque number 26, where Harris, Green, Simon, Cooks, and Moore were all members. It was later revealed that Berkeley police had been ordered to profile Black Muslims. But they want to talk about the Nation of Islam? We see who the racists are. And generate cause for arrest, adding to the outrage. So they were told to profile Black Muslims and generate cause for arrest. That means just to find any old reason to harass them and lock them up. Now, 2 days after the rally, Simon and Moore drove around San Francisco, shooting white people at random. Tanya Smith, age 32, Vincent Wolin, age 69, John Bambick, age 84, and Jane Holly, age 45, were all killed. A fifth victim, Roxanne McMillan, then 23, was also shot and paralyzed as she got clothes from her car on the 100 block of Eddington Street. Harris, who testified he was with Simon and Moore that night, told police the two thought it was poetic justice that someone had been paralyzed, because the other guy had gotten paralyzed as well. Now, it was the bloodiest day of the zebra murder spree. He says, I'm 69 years old now, but not a day goes by that I'm not reminded of how that single violent incident has changed my life. Queen, I'm from San Francisco. I'm from Sacramento, so I am going to have to ask you to lay. Hold on. I got to see this. I'm going to have to ask you to lay off Northern California for a while. You make us look like psychopaths. Please. Michael, let me tell you something. I call it like I say it. Thank you for your request, although I have to deny it. And thank you for your contribution. Peace, love, and blessings to you. He did not say psychopaths. I don't think they look like psychopaths. I think they look like people who are fed up, okay? They taking all they can take. And like Gavin Long said, when they do this, they get praised for it. Look at Kyle Rittenhouse. They call them heroes, right? When they get mad and go out here and start killing folk. I'm just saying, pay attention. Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero as far as they're concerned. Go figure. I mean, to the point that people just donate money to him and things. Dylan Roof, George Zimmerman. Didn't they donate $250,000 to that fool Zimmerman? But you know what's so funny? Off topic, Candace Owens had the nerve to say Black people, we are the only nation of people that praise our criminals. She must not live in America because she clearly sounds crazy. America is built on praising their criminals. All of their heroes are nothing but criminals. Pedophiles, genocidal maniacs, lynchers, rapers, robbers, thieves. Please, name one of their heroes that isn't. I'll wait. I will wait. Now, with that all being said, he says, I'm 60 years old now, but not a day goes by that I'm not reminded of how that single violent incident has changed my life, McMillan said in a written statement at Green's August hearing. She added, doing everyday tasks and caring for myself from a wheelchair is becoming increasingly more of a challenge. 3 months later, in April of 1974, 3 Black Muslim men were charged with murdering Joseph Belmore, age 24, in Sacramento, and as well as 2 non-fatal shootings. Now, in 2009, one of the defendants, Larry Pratt, told a parole board the attacks were a direct response to Crosby's shooting. This is what Pratt said, and he was granted parole. He said, talk centered on doing something about what took place in Berkeley against the shooting of the Muslim there. This is what Pratt said, according to the transcripts. He said, we decided to right that wrong. All of our assaults were random. It was basically black on whites. So in other words, they did what the Klan does and the Proud Boys and Boogaloo Boys and all of them. Oh, okay. So the only Bay Area reporter to publicly make the connection between Crosby's shooting and the zebra murders at the time was Chauncey Bailey, who wrote articles for the Sun Reporter suggesting the 2 incidents were linked. Now, they say in 2007, they had a copycat killing. I clearly didn't hear about this. They said, ironically, after Bailey was slain in 2007 by members of Your Black Muslim Bakery, a Nation of Islam offshoot sect, it was revealed that his killers committed a copycat zebra-style killing. Devondre Brassard, who shot Bailey and later turned state's evidence, told prosecutors the July 12, 2007 murder of a white restaurant worker happened because the bakery leader, Yusuf Bey IV, was in a car talking about the zebra murders and white devils. As he spoke, Bey IV saw the restaurant worker, Michael Wills, crossing Oakland's San Pablo Avenue and told the man in the car with him, "There goes one right now," meaning a white person. Bey IV's accomplice, Antoine Mackey, confronted Wills, firing an automatic rifle at Wills as he tried to run. Minutes later, back at the bakery, Brassard said Bey IV and Mackey were laughing and mocking Wills because he was hit with bullets. One of his legs shot up in the air as if he was kicking a football. They put their arms in the air as if signaling a field goal had been kicked. It's good, they shouted. But Brassard said Bey IV described the zebra murders as a killing spree in the East Bay, not San Francisco, which ended after the perpetrators committed a robbery and were caught. Interestingly, in April of 1974, there was an incident that appears to mirror Brassard's account, where two Black Muslim men were arrested for allegedly shooting a cab driver in Oakland. The victim somehow survived 2 gunshot wounds to the head. One of the suspects was found with literature about killing white devils. They were charged with robbery and assault causing great bodily harm, according to court reports. Let me tell y'all something. I want y'all to pay attention. Now, they keep tying all these people. Do you notice how many times they keep saying Muslims, 2 Black Muslims, and the guys they say killed the cab driver were Muslims? Let me tell you something. First of all, do you think these people are really Muslims? I mean, let's just keep it a buck. You remember when they went after the Black Panther Party, those of you who know the history of them, they were always lying and trying to act like people belong to the Black Panther Party who were doing nefarious things, and they, in fact, were not even members. And I want you to pay attention. They did the same thing because I told you they never changed their MO. All they do is change the way they do it. Remember when Black Lives Matter first started, before it was co-opted? Remember when Black Lives Matter first started? Didn't they have white people dressed in all black coming to the protest, throwing rocks and bottles and all that at the cops? And then one of them, they ran and jumped in a car, and they were saying, "Oh, some Black Lives Matter protesters attacked the cops." But when they caught them and ripped off the mask, it was white men, 2 white men. Do y'all remember that? Do you also remember how a white cop was shot by a Black man, and they said, "Oh, a member of Black Lives Matter"? Who said that man was a member of Black Lives Matter besides them? And what made them think that he was a member of Black Lives Matter? Just because he did something notorious. You see, that's what they do. They try to add something to it. A group or organization of Black people that has done nothing but good for the Black community and never bothered theirs. They try to liken them to the Klan, you see, to their nefarious, racist, wicked glacier donkeys, you see. This is what they do. Now, in this case, the zebra killers, yeah, they were like the Klan. I'm sure they learned from the best. However, they were killers, no less. And it was racially motivated, yes. Clearly committing hate crimes, mimicking what the Klan has always done. Just as nefarious as the Klan. But the Black Panther Party, they weren't going around killing white folk. They weren't going around brutalizing and starting messing with the police. The police were going around brutalizing and starting messing with them. The governments of the United States, or the divided snakes, was lying on them, trying to call them a hate group. How are you going to call these people over here a hate group when they're trying to empower their community, when they're trying to protect their people from police brutality? Meanwhile, you have the Klan over here, and they're registered and allowed to register as a Christian organization, but they're going around burning crosses in people's yards, kicking in people's doors, bombing churches and killing kids, raping people's wives, and lynching men and hanging them from trees. I'm just curious. Why do they do that? Because some of the top politicians, some of the top law enforcement officials, and some of the top people in this country are members of the Klan. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. They know it. They know it. Police. They always try to make us as bad as them. You know why we could never be as bad as them ever? I don't care what any of us did. We would never be as bad as them. Because anything that Black people do egregiously is for what? It's for why? Do they have a reason? Question is, the things they've done to Black people, what was their reason? I'll wait. I will wait. What was their reason for doing all the wicked things they've done to Black people? I'm just curious. Why do they think that all Black people steal, some of them? Why do they think that Black people are the biggest criminals? Why do some people just hate Black people just because you're Black? They get mad just because you're Black. They don't want you around just because you're Black. You can't swim in the pool. You can't go into a building. You can't mind your own business. You can't work at a job. You can't even sit at a desk and do security without some crazy white man named Brad coming there and slapping you upside your head. Ken and Karens. Now, if they can explain a rational reason for why they behave that way, why did the police get so afraid of Black people who are unarmed, even women and children, that they will shoot them dead? Not to wound them, but literally to murder them. So do they think that everybody's supposed to just love them when that's the way they behave? No. Some people are not going to be forgiving. No. Some people don't want to turn the other cheek. You have some people who are just as wicked as them. So if they have people who are just as wicked as them that are Black, why are you mad at them? They learned it from you. Clearly. I'm just wondering. Please make that make sense. Yes, the zebra killers, in my opinion, acted just like the Klan. They did the same type of thing the Klans do. Listen, you know the part where they said they were sitting in a car and they were talking about the zebra murders? The males would never convict themselves because it's like they would literally cut their own selves out of off at the knees. Yes, absolutely, Brandon. Thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Let me tell you something. The part where they were sitting in the car and they were talking trash about the zebra killings, and then one of them says, there goes one right now, and then got out and went on to go try to kill the man or whatever. You don't think that's how the Klan does? There goes a nigga right there. Please, of course they do. Who do you think they learned it from? Now, I'm not saying that was that's how am I trying to say this? I'm not saying that because the Klan did it, like that's their excuse, but I'm just saying they do the same thing. But it's funny, they'll talk all the trash about Black people that go out and get revenge or go out and commit racist crimes or whatever, racially motivated crimes, but they don't want to talk about what the Klan does. That's all I'm saying. They don't want to talk about what they do. Yeah. I also find it interesting that they weren't even saying anything about the Boogaloo Boys or the Proud Boys until they were in alliance with Donald Trump and until they wanted to get Trump out of office. And then now all of a sudden they want to talk like, oh, they're white supremacists. You knew they were white supremacists. They've always been. Funny thing is, they're white supremacists too. Want to be anyway. Just saying. Make it make sense. So, like I said, when Black people get mad and lash out or just go off the deep end because of things they did, how are they complaining? Funny thing is, they will always resort to violence, even for little things, like having to wear a mask, like you not letting them in the gate quick enough if you're the security guard, and you're not letting them in the gate fast enough. They'll get out and attack you. Iceman inheritance. Need I say more? With that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast because I'm coming right black, okay, on the root of all evil, with the story about the Bellamy brothers, bank robbers who were cops. These are two Black guys. With that all being said, I wish you all love, peace, and prosperity. Thank you all for tuning in once again. And I hope to see you all in the chats. If not, that is fine. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. And until next time, Rose, I will talk to you all again soon.